The greatest tragedy in a marriage isn't divorce, my dear. It is staying in a room where you are completely invisible and calling it love. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into a heart that doesn't have room for you. If they wanted to, they would. It is truly that simple. You have such tired eyes today, carrying weights you were never meant to hold alone. I see it because I wore that exact same look for 50 years. I am 91 years old now. 91. That is a lot of seasons, a lot of sunsets, and a whole lot of time to think. When you get to my age, the noise of the world fades away, and all you are left with is the quiet truth. And the truth, my sweet child, is sometimes a very heavy thing to hold. Today, I want to talk to you about love. Not the fairy tale kind they sell you in the moving pictures, but the real, everyday kind. And more importantly, I want to talk to you about the mistakes I made. The silent, invisible compromises that slowly ate away at my soul year after year. I do not want you to wake up one day, looking at a stranger in the mirror, wondering where your beautiful light went. So listen closely, wrap this blanket around your shoulders, and let an old woman save you decades of heartache. When I married my husband, I was so young. I thought love meant sacrificing everything you were for the sake of the family. I thought being a good wife meant being quiet, keeping the peace, and making sure everyone else's cup was overflowing while mine sat bone dry. In the beginning, it wasn't terrible. The changes were small, like a slow leak in a boat. You barely notice the water rising until you are drowning. I remember one evening, it was our 10th anniversary. I had spent the entire day preparing his favorite meal, a roast that took hours. I set the table with the good china, the plates with the little blue flowers we only used for special occasions. I even bought a new dress, hoping he would look at me the way he used to. When he came home, he walked right past me. He ate the meal in complete silence, picked up his newspaper, and went to sleep. I stayed at that table for hours, just staring at the cold food. But I didn't say a single word. I told myself, he works hard, he is just tired. You are expecting too much. That was a lie I told myself to excuse his complete disregard for my heart. Years turned into decades. I loved painting, you know? Beautiful watercolors of gardens and birds. But my paints took up too much space on the dining table, and he complained about the clutter. So I packed my brushes away in a dusty cardboard box and put them in the attic. I packed pieces of myself away, one by one, until there was nothing left to pack. I gave up my friends because he found them annoying. I stopped singing in the kitchen because he said it gave him a headache. I confused endurance with love. I thought that by surviving his emotional neglect, I was being a loyal wife. I thought my silence was my greatest strength. But my dear, suffering in silence is not strength. It is a slow, quiet betrayal of your own soul. It is locking yourself in a cage and handing the key to someone who does not even care that you are trapped. The biggest mistake I ever made was believing that my worth was tied to how much pain I could endure. Let me tell you this right now, and I want you to etch it deep into your heart. A marriage is a partnership, not a test of endurance. You are not a martyr. You do not get a shiny medal at the end of your life for how much disrespect you tolerated. If you are constantly walking on eggshells in your own home, afraid to upset them, afraid to speak your mind, that is not a home. That is a prison with invisible bars. Do not make the mistake of thinking you can love someone into treating you well. You cannot. You cannot love someone into respecting you. Respect is the absolute foundation of any relationship. Without it, love is just a hollow word used to manipulate you. If they wanted to spend time with you, they would. If they wanted to understand your feelings, they would ask. Stop making endless excuses for a partner who cannot be bothered to show up for you. Do not let them turn you into a beggar for their bare minimum affection. And please, do not ever put away your paintbrushes. Do not silence your laughter, or dim your brilliant light, or change your beautiful, vibrant spirit just to keep the peace for someone who is at war with themselves. The right person, the person meant for your soul, will never ask you to be less so they can feel like more. They will celebrate your light, not try to extinguish it. Looking back now, at 91 years old, my husband has been gone for over 15 years. I sit here in this quiet house, and do you know what I regret the most? It is not the arguments we had. It is the arguments we didn't have. It is the thousands of times I swallowed my voice to avoid a fight. I look at my wrinkled hands, these worn hands that washed mountains of dishes, folded endless piles of laundry, and scrubbed floors until they shined, but rarely reached for what they truly wanted. I forgive myself, of course. I did what I knew how to do back then in a world that told women to be seen and not heard. But you live in a different time. You know better now. You have the precious chance to write a completely different story. It absolutely breaks my heart to see so many young people today making the exact same compromises I made. You are settling for half-hearted, lukewarm love because you are terrified of being alone. My dear, let me tell you a secret that took me a lifetime to learn. The loneliest I ever felt in my entire life was not when I was sitting by myself in an empty room. The absolute loneliest I ever felt was lying in a bed right next to a man who did not truly see me. Being alone is peaceful. Being with someone who makes you feel alone is a lifelong tragedy. So, what do you do now? How do you change the course of your life? First, you stand up. You look at your reflection in the mirror, you look deep into your own eyes, and you apologize to yourself for all the times you accepted less than you deserved. You set your boundaries, firm and clear. You speak your truth, even if your voice shakes and your heart pounds. And if they cannot handle your truth, let them walk away. Hold the door open for them. The empty space they leave behind will finally make room for the genuine love, the deep peace, and the profound respect you actually deserve. You are a masterpiece, my child. Treat yourself like one. Do not let anyone treat you like an afterthought or a convenience. Promise this old woman, right here and right now, that you will protect your peace, value your precious heart, and never, ever settle for a love that requires you to be invisible. If these words found you today, it was not by accident. I truly believe we were meant to have this little talk on the porch. Please share this message with someone who might be silently struggling, a friend, a daughter, or anyone who needs to be reminded of their divine worth. Leave a comment below and tell me your story, or just say hello. I read every single one of them, you know. They bring me such joy. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and stay a while. We have so much more to talk about, so many more cups of tea to share. Until next time, take care of your precious heart, my dear.